But at the very end, he tells me, you're going to be okay. Your family is going to be okay. And wherever your dad is, he's going to be okay as well. That really hit me. It made me realize that God is real. Hi everyone, my name is Ruth Barrera, and I'm super excited to tell you guys my testimony. So, I grew up with two amazing Mexican parents. I'm first generation here in the States, and with that came a lot of challenges. And with that also, since being Hispanic and whatnot, we're born Catholic, we're born and raised Catholic, not really knowing what the religion is. It's just more of like, you have to do it because your parents tell you you have to do it. My first encounter with Jesus was when I was 8. It was really interesting, to be honest, because I think my first encounter was VBS, and that was really, really cool to be at, because I had never sang any of the songs before, like Waves of Mercy, man, that was really, really cool to me. And just to see different people from school there, that was awesome. But I didn't really start taking it to myself until I was 16, when I went on my first retreat in order for me to get confirmed. I did it because I had to do it, not because I wanted to do it, but that's whenever I realized Jesus is cool. And that's where I started my relationship. But like I said, it was more of an emotion thing. I had been thinking for many, many years that I had already started my story with God and so forth, but that really wasn't the case. I didn't realize that I was just going through the motions of me getting to know Jesus. It wasn't until I was at a retreat that I really understood what God's love was and what it meant to follow Him. I had been going through a lot that year. It was the same year that Hurricane Harvey hit, and I just really didn't know what was going on with my life. I was not going to school anymore, and I just wasn't really doing much. The whole entire time I was trying to say that I was taking care of my family, but slowly I was falling apart. It came to the time that I go on this retreat, and honestly, I didn't even want to go on this retreat, but I kind of had to. I was kind of forced to go to this retreat. And while I was at the retreat, I had this beautiful encounter with a priest there. The priest came up to me on the last day, and he basically told me something that I literally was super surprised to hear. It's something I never expected to hear. He told me, Ruth, you're going to be fine. Your family's going to be fine. And wherever your father's at, he's going to be fine. That really hit me, because for many years I had already been praying for my dad. What many do not know is that my dad passed away when I was only 8. He would come to Mass because he had to come to Mass, not because he wanted to be here. And so my whole life, my mom always told me to pray and to pray for him, and to hear it from this priest to tell me that wherever he may be, he is okay, he is fine, and he's watching over us. It just made me believe that, Lord, you're real. He made me realize that my dad was okay. He was fine, and that I should go live my life the way that God wants me to live my life, because he finally answered the question that I had been wondering for many years. In that moment, that's whenever I really just turned my life around. I started doing everything I could to be there and to be a follower of Jesus and to listen to everything he had to tell me. It helped a lot. I started reading more, I started praying more, and I started to realize that sometimes questions aren't answered in that moment, but they're answered later on. And it does take time, but God has you, and he's always going to be there for you. Honestly, CGS helped me through all of that too. Because of that year that we went through Hurricane Harvey, CGS really just was there for us all the time, checking up on us, making sure that we were okay, making sure that we never felt alone through it all. And I'm very, very grateful for that, very thankful for that. And I had mentors, and I had people that helped me out through all of it. They were always watching out for me. They were always asking if I was okay. If I wasn't, they would always ask me to just talk to them and to really let everything out. And they would ask how they would help me pray and so forth. And they really, really have gotten me to where I am today. And I'm so grateful, and I'm so thankful for everything that this parish has done for me and my family like I mentioned, I really thought I knew who Jesus was, but I didn't know who he was until later on throughout my life, whenever I started going through more and more and more things. There's this word in Spanish where it's saber and conocer. Saber is to know someone, and conocer is to actually like truly develop this relationship with them, and that's kind of where I was with him. I knew him. I knew who Jesus was. I knew what he stood for. I knew his story, basically, like what the Bible told me and what Mass would tell me, but I didn't know him and the depth and the beauty that becomes like Jesus as a whole. And that's like where my relationship has gone. It's gone from saber who he is to conocer who he is. So to know who he is, to actually really get to love who he is as a person, because at the end of the day, Jesus was human as well. And so I like started realizing too that no matter how many times I mess up, he's going to be there for me to pick me up, and it's going to be okay. So the community of CGS is super, super cool. I wouldn't have asked for a better parish to call home, to be honest. They literally are the family that you wish you would have. Like, sometimes we're born into families that we're just like, really, like, this is what we get, and so forth. But like, CGS is the family that I chose, the family that I wanted to help me through my walk with Jesus. The community here is super, super amazing. Like, we may encounter moments where we're like fighting and not like on the same page about things, but at the end of the day, they're here with open arms and welcome us in, because we're brothers and sisters of Christ at the end of the day. I used to be really, really scared of even being here or anything like that, because I have so many mentors here that have taught me so much since I was like little. But for many, many years, I was really scared to go up to them and just ask them for anything, because I viewed them as a higher power than what I was. But I realized that they're just like me. Like, they go through a lot of things and so forth, and it's been super, super cool to see that with them. They're literally a family. They are my family. CGS has become my home, and that's what the community is. Like, they're always going to have your back no matter what's going on, and there may be times where we want to walk away, but at the end of the day, they're going to be here with open arms, and they're going to be like, come back, my brother and sister, I'm here for you. So if you're sitting in the back of the pew, all I have to say is just have patience. Like, God literally answers your questions eventually. It does take time sometimes, because I would know that, but like, he does answer your questions, and when he answers them, it feels so great and so fruitful, and it feels like knots have been lifted off your shoulders, basically. So keep being patient and keep asking questions. Don't ever give up on asking questions. The more you ask questions, the more you find answers to things. So seriously, on the real, y'all, if you ever see me at Mass or at any of the events or so forth, feel free to come up to me and say hi. Don't be a stranger, because I will most likely, if I see you once, I'll probably be like, oh, hey, like trailing you too. So feel free to come up to me and ask me questions. Feel free to just be like, hey, I want to talk sometime and so forth. I'm always down for that. I'm always down for a good chat, a good conversation about Jesus. Even if it's not about Jesus, feel free to just be like, hey, I want to talk, because I'm always open to have new friends. So wishing you guys the best, and yeah, God bless y'all. And yeah, thanks guys. CGS at its finest.